The WNBA tried to capitalize on her popularity and crammed a lot of games in over a short amount of time, playing against the best teams in the WNBA.
Those relative season tickets now?
I mean, we might have to.
Those are pretty expensive.
We'll make sure the
our
Fever
salaries,
gets working on that.
our salaries, it's like our entire salary to get those.
Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever point guard, has been making headlines lately, and it's not just because of her impressive performance on the court. The 22-year-old rookie has been making waves with her bold statements and competitive spirit.
It's like our entire salary to get those. I'm not kidding.
We'll have someone work on that for sure.
We need people to help.
After being snubbed by the U.S. Olympic women's basketball team, Clark took a much-needed break to recharge and refocus her game, and it seems like that time off did her some good, as she's been on a roll ever since.
Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA, as she's now going to try to set the all-time record, but 12 games to go.
On Sunday, Clark set a WNBA record for assists in a season by a rookie, notching 9 to increase her total to 232.
There is a lot of appropriate attention on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and we found out that the Fever Storm game from over the weekend drew 2.2 million viewers, which is massive. The WNBA has 18 games this season where they've had more than 1 million viewers average, and 16 of those 18 have featured Caitlin Clark. So you cannot deny the connectivity of Caitlin Clark playing basketball and people wanting to watch. If she's playing, they will come, they will watch the game.
She's on track to break the overall record of 316 set by Alyssa Thomas last year, but that's not all. Clark also made headlines for her interaction with a referee. After missing a shot in the third quarter, Clark punched the base of the basket in frustration, earning her a technical foul. The referee told her that her actions were disrespectful to the game of basketball, but Clark saw it differently. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with the reffing, had nothing to do with the other team. It's just because I'm a competitor, and I felt like I should have been making more shots, she said. Clark even thanked the referee for the technical foul, saying it fired her up to play harder. I thought we got a lot better after that. I want to thank him for that, she added. But Clark's most surprising statement came when she jumped in to answer a question about buying season tickets for her family. When Fever teammate Lexi Hull was asked if she would buy her family season tickets after scoring a career-high 22 points in the win over the Seattle Storm, Clark chimed in saying, "Those are pretty expensive. It's like our entire salary to get those. I'm not kidding. We need people to help."
But making really peanuts, Dan, when meanwhile this is the reason why everybody's tuning into the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, just on her own, making $76,000 a year, which, I mean, she's making tons of other money in endorsements, but when you look at male athletes, something that I think a lot of them tend to make a habit of is they say, okay, I'm going to spend my paycheck or my salary rather, and I'm going to use that to fund my lifestyle. And I'm going to set aside my endorsement money. I'm going to put that in the bank. I'm going to invest that money. But for these WNBA players, if all you're making is $76,000, you've got to dig into those endorsement dollars to fund a lifestyle. And I'm not just talking about a lavish lifestyle. I'm just talking about a normal lifestyle, which costs even more these days thanks to
Despite making millions in endorsements, Clark's comment about needing help to buy season tickets for her loved ones raised a few eyebrows. But one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark is not afraid to speak her mind and make her presence known, both on and off the court. It's a fact that Caitlin Clark's rookie salary of $76,535 and her 4-year contract totaling $338,056 are quite small when compared to what male players in the NBA earn.
The WNBA is becoming popular enough to increase salaries. You know, that's what the NBA does, and the NFL. They increase their salary cap. One of the things that's interesting, the financials of the Indiana Fever, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a 1,193% increase in jersey sales with the Indiana Fever because of Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, which was established in 2020 and runs until 2027, limits these salaries. The current supply and demand dynamics are shifting in favor of the players, largely thanks to Clark's rising star.
And you're going to continue to see, like 2,000, this is a big deal in Indiana, 225% increase in corporate partnerships. You know, every season ticket is sold out. Listen to this one. Concession sales. I like this one in particular, Charlie. 2,826 gallons of beer have been sold.
Wow.
Draft beer That's an increase of 740%. Hot dog sales up 300%.
However, don't expect to see a GoFundMe page pop up anytime soon. Even if every fan from Indianapolis to Iowa chipped in for a $1,600 Fever season ticket, it wouldn't make a dent in her finances. During her time at Iowa, Clark earned an estimated $3 million through name, image, and likeness deals. Before even stepping onto a WNBA court, she signed lucrative 8-figure contracts with Nike for her own signature shoes and with Wilson for her own basketballs. Additionally, she has partnerships with brands like Gatorade, Panini, Xfinity, Gainbridge, and State Farm. If you tally up her projected career earnings, they could exceed $400 million. Why? Well, her last college game attracted 24 million viewers, more than 3 times the audience for Serena Williams' final tennis match. Over 3 million people tuned in to watch her get drafted, so when Clark expresses frustration over WNBA salaries, it's really her way of advocating for her teammates and fellow players, like Lexi Hull, who will earn $77,669 this season.
The entire Fever payroll is $1.2 million. Less. That is less than the minimum salary for a single NBA player with a year's experience. So the women have the headlines, they have the fans, they have the viewers. When the hell are they going to get paid?
Most WNBA players don't have many endorsement opportunities. Clark has been nothing but supportive of Hull, even joking that her social media will become a Lexi Hull fan page. It's likely that Clark will keep breaking records, raking in cash, and making headlines. It's amazing what a month off can do to revitalize someone.
I told my mom before this is like, I earned it, and that's why I'm so proud of it.
I was really happy to see Caitlin Clark recognized as the AP Player of the Week. Even though there have been other weeks where her performance might have been just as remarkable, this acknowledgement still holds a lot of weight. The fact that it comes from the Associated Press rather than the WNBA gives it an extra touch of credibility. That being said, I do feel a bit torn. I believe Kelsey Mitchell also had a solid argument for winning the award this week.
And Kelsey Mitchell was huge in that fourth quarter. You and her combined for 10 threes. How important of a role did she play in closing this game out?
Kelsey was awesome. I mean, she just steps up in big moments. That's just what she's done. She's done it all year, and I'm really happy for her.
Her impressive back-to-back performances showcased her talent and determination, especially considering the question surrounding her status earlier in the week.
She's got a ton of confidence, and she's been huge for our team.
It would have been great to see Mitchell get the recognition, as it would highlight her significant development and contributions to her team. After all, the Fever are the only team in the league with multiple Player of the Week winners this season, which is quite an accomplishment. In the end, though, Clark's award is absolutely deserved.
And this sensational rookie from the Indiana Fever, who continues to be box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership.
She has been a powerhouse all season, and this acknowledgement just reinforces her incredible skills. While I might have favored Mitchell for this particular week, it's hard to dispute Clark's overall performance and the influence she's had on the game. Caitlin Clark probably won't win the WNBA award since she only played in 2 games during the opening week. While she is undoubtedly a star and a prominent figure in the league, the award is unlikely to go to her. Ah yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been retained by the Fever, which means she's safe. The team can keep 6 players, and there's no way they would let Mitchell go, especially considering her current performance. Can we please drop the Rookie of the Year chatter? It's really not fair to Angel Reese, who has been doing an amazing job. She played exceptionally well against the Mercury, but now she's being compared to someone who is clearly one of the top 5 players in the WNBA, which leads to unnecessary scrutiny of her impressive performances. Speaking of rookies, Reese's play has been among the best this season. Tammy mentioned something about rookie deloading, but honestly, it's just not right to compare Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark. What did Tammy say again? Oh, she brought up the mojo. That quote confused me at first. Ultimately, when we move past this debate, it won't just be about Caitlin Clark as Rookie of the Year. It will also be about her standing among the all-time great rookies. While she might not quite reach the MVP status of Candace Parker, it's reasonable to argue that she has had a season that stands up well in comparison. It's important to note that Parker's exceptional year didn't have Aja Wilson in the running, and she could very well finish as the MVP runner-up in what many view as a historic historic regular season performance. The real conversation, however, is likely to focus on Maya Moore and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin is anticipated to lead in various statistics, while Maya's contribution to a championship team will be a significant factor in the discussion. When we evaluate players in the WNBA, both Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart are undoubtedly among the elite. There's no question about that. If we're discussing who holds the title of the best player globally, Aja would take that honor, but the difference isn't as vast as some might assume. If Stewart were not experiencing a slump and had stronger performances, we might be looking at a different scenario. It's also notable that while Aja racks up points, some of those come more easily compared to Stewie. For example, at the beginning of the season, when Aja's team was at a 6-win, 6-loss record, her scoring didn't seem to correlate with team success as much. Overall, Aja is still the superior player, but the distinction is closer than it may seem, you know? It's funny. The more I watch, the less I think of it as just a 2-horse race with a third player trailing behind.
Y'all see her, Caitlin Clark is getting the crowd and going. Y'all see Skylar Diggins speed up to make contact with her. Stop this. Y'all mad because that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. Y'all said she too weak. She can't do this. She lead the WNBA in assists. She cooking. Let her cook.
This latest Caitlin Clark situation in the WNBA has been getting a lot of attention lately, and I can see why. The underlying pettiness, jealousy, and animosity from some players towards her is really quite something, isn't it?
Seattle Storm, they pulled their starters so she couldn't get that double-digit assist record 3 consecutive games with at least 20 points and 10 or more assists. They pulled their starters, and then Skylar Diggins, Fake Smith, her last name, she bumped into her, sped up. Let her cook. But if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told Skylar Diggins, get your coat, your brim, and get on out of my gym.
Take the incident with Skylar Diggins-Smith, for example. At the end of a game where Caitlin and her team completely outperformed their opponents, Skylar delivered a forearm shiver to Caitlin. Now, I know the refs didn't call it, but come on, that's just plain petty. And the coach and team's lack of class? Yikes, not a good look at all.
She cutting ass. Help us. Hey, she like a double-edged sword, Ocho. She cutting ass left and right. Yep. Both sides cutting ass. Wop, 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 wop.
Hey, hey, listen.
Cut them up.
She's doing well for herself. She's doing well for herself. I would like the ladies to welcome her with open arms, and what she brings to the table, what she's brought to the WNBA is, as well as the other rookies that are playing well as well. I know Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese probably get most of the credit.
They do.
And all the news and headlines.
Yep.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing because they have a new fan and a new viewer in me.
Oh, it's crazy to think about, but this situation really highlights a bigger issue in the league. They just landed a massive TV deal worth $200 million, potentially rising to $260 million annually.
And last but not least, Caitlin Clark. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. You got to sit up there and pay attention to the rising tide. It lifts all boats. You can go out on the court and go at Caitlin Clark with the fierceness that your competitive juices demand. But in the process of doing that, you learn to love that girl. That girl went up in her press conference and said and spoke about flying commercial. They didn't sit up there and make this decision until after she said that. You understand? Now, everybody want to sit up there and talk about, oh my God, why did it have to come to that? Damn it, forget all that. She did it. She didn't have to, but she did. She got her contract. She getting her bag. She got her endorsement deal, but she looked out before she's even played a regular season game as a professional WNBA player. She came in there and she already looked out and added a voice to the plight that these females have had to deal with inexcusably.
But when you look at the actual ratings, it's a bit of a letdown. Ion Channel? Seriously? Not even CBS. The numbers speak for themselves. The game against the Mercury pulled in 1.21 million viewers on Ion, while the Liberty Aces matchup with stars like Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart only managed 577,000 and 874,000 on CBS.
I'm really happy I got to see her today. It was like a dream come true. pretty awesome. We're big Iowa fans, so we've been watching her for years, and it was great to see her live.
It was pretty surreal because we were watching TV, I think the game before, and she got really close to it. I think she was like a couple of rebounds away, and I didn't think that I would actually be at the first one.
Seeing her do what she did on the court today, that was actually really amazing.
That professional league is just, it's growing amazing. Like, I just can't believe they're selling out, and I love it. It's awesome.
Go Fever, let's go! Triple-double, first rookie!
And the Storm Fever game on ABC, 2.32 million viewers. It's clear as day. Caitlin Clark is the real draw, not anyone else.
I think everybody feels it. Like I said, it feels electric, like something big is gonna happen.
How long was your drive?
7 hours.
7 hours. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
I've been enjoying watching Fever basketball since Tamika catches, so just to have this up war again, you know, in the city is very lovely.
Go!
The difference is staggering. Iowan's numbers are nearly 400,000 viewers short. Now back to that forearm incident. Barstool shared it, and the reactions have been intense. People are calling out Diggins Smith's foul, which went uncalled. It happened at the end of the game, and while the refs could have stepped in, they chose not to.
Okay, by now I'm sure you've seen Skylar Diggins assault Caitlin Clark after Indiana blew out Seattle. Now, was that jail? No. Would it be a fight in the NBA? Yes. What I don't get is the Seattle coach here is the one complaining after the game, and Skylar, tears in her eyes, being like, how dare Caitlin embarrass me? How dare they beat us by 30? Hey, ladies, grow up.
Maybe they were feeling a bit petty and jealous themselves, mirroring the players' behavior. Anyway, there it is, the forearm shiver. Some have even gone as far as calling it assault, but I don't know about that. It's just plain pathetic behavior from these players, that's all.
They didn't take their starters out in time? What are you talking about? And here's what I love. You think Caitlin's going to back down because they're crying? Like, how can a rookie embarrass us? What do they keep beating us up like this? How is she so good? No, Caitlin doesn't back down at all. She's like, hey, zip it, Skylar. Shut up. Stop crying. She literally mouths, stop crying. I'm not sure if it's in this video.
Shannon Sharp recently had a conversation with Chad Johnson, famously known as Ocho Cinco, on his podcast. During their discussion, they touched on Caitlin Clark, and Shannon was quite open about his opinions regarding her.
Y'all keep on talking she the great white hype, Ocho. They keep talking about she the great. Ain't no hype. Y'all said the same thing about Larry Bird. Right. I remember. I'm old enough to remember. They said the same thing about Larry Bird.
Yo, have you seen what's going down in the WNBA? It's wild, man. This Caitlin Clark chick is straight up schooling everyone on the court. I mean, Shannon Sharp's got a point.
I thought she would be good. You and I both said she's going to be good because she got two skill sets. She can score the basketball and she can assist the basketball. So if one is not going, the other one will. But a lot of people say, oh, this and that. Let her cook. Y'all stop being petty. Stop being catty, because she like a double-edged sword. She cutting tail left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it.
When has he ever been wrong? It's like these other players can't handle the fact that a corn-fed girl from Iowa is coming in and dominating. They're all up in arms about it, but honestly, when you look at the stats, you can't deny that she's killing it.
Hey Caitlin, Tisha here. Congratulations. A record that stood since 1998, and you come here and you break it. Super proud of you. I know the work that you put in. A lot of people always talked about your shooting. I was always mesmerized about your passing, your court vision, and how you make your teammates better. So this record is in great hands, and continue to do what you do. Continue to elevate your game and the women's game and the WNBA.